Hi everyone, I'm Flora and welcome to Hey Flora. I am going to do a little painting demo to answer the question of the day, which is a question we get so often, and it is, how do you make those perfect drips? And there's really just a few things that will help in order to make drips that are, I don't want to call them perfect because you never really know with spraying water into wet paint what is going to happen, but I get that folks are interested in how to make drips that look just like really kind of nice and not all over the place. So one key factor is the kind of paint that you use. So when I'm doing drips, I use fluid acrylics, and so I tend to use the golden fluid acrylics. They come in these bottles like this, and they're just formulated to be much more flowy than a heavier body paint, which is more almost like soft butter consistency. So this is ready to flow and ready to do your drips, so it'll just make it a lot easier. If you don't have the fluid paints, you can create more fluidity in your paints by adding water and then mixing it up, or adding a medium or a combination of water and a medium to your heavier body paints. So you'll want to do that beforehand, maybe in a little jar or something, so that when you're putting the paint onto the painting, it's like ready to drip. So the kind of paint you use is really important. The other factor is how much paint you use. So I often see this when I'm teaching my workshops, is that people just don't put enough paint on to get those nice kind of solid drips. They just put a little bit and then they're wondering why it's not dripping. So probably adding much more paint than you think you need to is going to help with your drips. The third factor is having a spray bottle that has a really kind of strong, I'll give you a demo, a strong mist setting. So if you have like a little wimpy one, it's not gonna give you the drips that you're looking for. So this one is ready to go. So I'm gonna do some drips onto this painting, which is very much a work in progress, so I don't feel too attached to anything. I'm gonna use this titanium white fluid paint. You could add it with your hand or add it with a brush. I'm using my finger here. Again, putting lots of paint on there. And feeling a lot of pressure that these drips need to be really great for this demo, but there you go. They're dripping along there. And that seems to be working pretty well. You can see that where I sprayed into the paint, that's sort of diffused that area, so I could always add more. This is something actually I often do, is I'll drip some, and then maybe I'll add a little more paint, and then add to it. You can also play with the distance from which you're spraying. So if you're way back here and you're not getting the effect, like try going in a little bit more. I'm gonna do it just because I'm having so much fun here. I'm gonna add a little more over here. And if you do get one that's kind of doing its own thing, you can always spray it over. I do that a lot. If I'm dripping and then all of a sudden there's like one drip that goes across the canvas in a way I'm not excited about, I can just, while the paint is still wet, I can sort of affect where it goes. But you are moving into territory of letting go and surrender when you're doing any kind of spraying water into wet paint. So you just got to be sort of open to that. You can also have a rag handy and sort of affect the drips as you go. So hopefully that helps, this big mysterious question of how do you get the perfect drips. And thanks for joining me here. We'll see you next time.